Govee Permanent Outdoor Lights Pro or Govee Permanent Outdoor Lights 2 or the original Permanent Outdoor Lights RGBIC. Which one to get? Well, long story short, if you want the quick answer, the Outdoor Permanent Light Pro is definitely the one to get. But I didn't come to this conclusion from the beginning, and let me save you the trouble. If you're choosing between the Pros, the 2s, or the original one, without question, go for the Pro. Even if it's out of your budget, save up for it. Let me explain. So, when I first started my Govee Permanent Outdoor Light journey, these are the Pros, by the way, and let me just give you the quick answer why the Pros are better before I explain the story. So for you guys that just want the answer, the Pros are better because number one, the build quality is night and day different than the other lights. They are just so much better quality build, and if you're going to install these and let them sit outside in the rain, in the winter, in the sunny summer and everything, go for the Pros. They're going to last you a lot longer. The Pros also have better white lights than even the version 2 because the Pros, they got the adjustable dimmable white light from the warm to the bright blue, whereas the Govee Lights 2 only have the whites right here. And the version 1 don't even have the white light, it's just RGB. And I'll show you how it looks in a little bit. Right now, these are the Pros, by the way. So the Pros are just the best of pretty much everything. They're also cuttable, you can cut them, and that makes installation so much easier. And I can install them with the PermTrack, which is a product that allows me to install these to have a very clean installation. It's the Raceway from a brand called PermTrack. I'll leave link to those later on. But only the Pros work with the PermTrack, very important. Okay, so that's the quick rundown of why the Pros are the best. But if you're here for the story and you want to understand why I ultimately got the Pros after buying the 2, and then why I got the 2 after buying the original one, okay? So here's the breakdown. Let me explain. So, I love these lights the moment I saw them. They just look beautiful. Whether they're the Pros, the 2s, or version 1. To the naked eye, you don't know which one to get, right? All you know is that you want to go with Govee because they have the app and they have the ability to control the lights in these beautiful sequins that sync to music, that have patterns. So Govee is a choice. So I first started looking in this journey and I said, well, they all look the same. So the most affordable one was the Govee RGBIC. So I got these and I was getting ready to install them, and I realized I don't want the version 1 because the version 2 has brighter lights. So version 2 is brighter than version 1. Version 2 is easier to install because the clip and the mounting system of version 2 is better than version 1. Also, version 2 has about 20 extra scene modes than version 1. Also, version 2 has the warm white, rather not warm white, but just a white light. So when you want to have like a nice white light so it doesn't look like the holidays, you just want to have a natural white light, this one is a nicer white light than using this one because this one doesn't have a white light. To produce white, they pretty much turn on all the RGB and you have a bright light, but it's not truly a white light. So that's the reason why I ended up getting the version 2 over the version 1. But here's the crazy thing. I got the version 1 about 2 years ago. I was getting ready to install them for the holidays because that's the best time to install them. But I decided I want the version 2. However, during the holidays, version 2 was out of stock. So I decided, should I just install version 1? And I took them out of the box and I got ready to install them, and I realized these are not something that you can install easily by yourself. Here, let me connect them to power so you can see version 1 of the lights right here. So, I mean, they're nice, right? These are nice lights. So, these are version 1. And why did I never install them? Well, to install them correctly, you need professional installation. And when I got the quote for installation, it was roughly around $1,500 to install these lights all around my house. So I figured if I wanted to install these professionally, then I'm not going to spend $1,500 to install version 1 when I'm ultimately going to get version 2. So let me turn these off right here. So I never installed these, and I went through one whole holiday season without permanent outdoor lights because version 2 was out of stock when I wanted to install them, and I didn't want to install version 1 because it cost a lot of money to get them professionally installed, only to later take them down to install version 2. So I missed out on one holiday season. So comes the beginning of 2025. I said, I'm not gonna make the mistake. I'm gonna buy Govee permanent outdoor lights too. So these lights have better mounting brackets. They are brighter than version 1. And they have more scene modes. Let me connect them to power here so you can see how they look right here. And they are just beautiful. They also have the white light, so it looks nice. And these are kind of cuttable. They're not technically cuttable because Govee will not warranty you if you cut these lights. However, if you look online, a lot of people are able to cut these and splice them together and they still work. Now, you don't have the programming capability to adjust them after you cut them and basically be able to manage the lights after cutting them. The reason why you want to manage them is you may want to turn on and off the lights. You may want to sync them when they're shorter lengths and they just don't work right. So long story short, these are not designed to be cut, but you can still cut them. Anyway, I digress. So I got version 2 earlier this year, and I was ready to install them because these are the ones I wanted, right? So I went to talk to the installer, and this time I have a lot of time before the holidays to get them installed. And I talked to the installers, and based on my home, these will look nicer if they were installed with raceways, okay? So raceways are going to look, let me show you what raceways look like. So I don't have an example of raceway, but let me just close this and let me just show you here. If we look, and you can see, so these lights right here, they would be mounted right onto your soffits. But when you install them, you can see the lights like this with the wire. Raceway will cover up the wires, so all the wires are hidden and it looks like a very seamless installation. Lights and then a nice raceway and another light. So I looked into different raceways. It turned out that there is a company called PermTrack that makes amazing raceways. However, they only make them for version Pro of the light, but not for version 2, and definitely not for version 1. They make them for the Pro version of the lights. So I didn't install version 2, and I decided to get myself a set of the Pro lights. So let me show you the Pro lights right now. So let me put this back into the box. These are the permanent outdoor lights 2, which are really awesome, but because they don't fit the raceways that I wanted, I had to end up getting these. These are the Pro lights, and they work really well with the PermTracks. They are fully cuttable and supported by Govee to cut and splice them together. They have the app that can enhance the operations after you cut them, so you're able to sync the lights better. It's just that when you cut the lights, things might go wonky, and there is support right in the Govee app that handles the lights after they're being cut and connected. So why do you want to cut the lights, right? So you have lights coming here, 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 and then you want to cut the light from here and then extend up and start here again. So that way it looks nice because there's no lights here, and you just have clean peaks for your eaves. So cutting lights is something that the Pro version supports. That's number one. The build quality is just super, super good. Night and day difference between version Pro versus version 2 and versus version 1. The Pros also have the variable warm white, so that way you can set the tone of the white to be perfect. A little bit warm is what I like, and to match the other ambient light in your home, so the outdoor looks very cozy, and that's what the Permanent Outdoor Lights Pro can offer. These are also even brighter than version 2 of the lights, and these are fully compatible and highly supported by Jrowe, the maker of PermTrack for the Govee Permanent Outdoor Lights. And ultimately, these are the ones to get. So long story short, I went full circle trying to save money and getting the basic one without doing much research. Then realizing that installation costs a lot of money, and that if I want better lights later on, I probably don't want to install these because it costs so much money to reinstall later on. So I got the version 2, and the version 2 has brighter lights, it has a white version, it has more C modes, and they're easier to install. You can kind of cut these, but they're not fully supported by Govee for cutting. Then I decided, nope, I wanted the Pros because the Pros are fully supported and work well with the PermTracks. The Pros are also supported by Govee for cutting, so you can have a very seamless installation. Build quality of the Pros are top notch, day and night better than version 2, and of course better than version 1. The Pros also have full spectrum of white, so you can dial in the white exactly the way you want. And they're brighter. And they are Matter compatible, if that matters to you. Funny, right? Version Pro and version 2 are Matter compatible, but the original one is not Matter compatible, just FYI. So that's pretty much the difference between these lights, and ultimately the long story why I ended up getting the Pros. The other benefit of the Pros is the Pros can go up to 200 feet, whereas the 2 can go up to a maximum of 150 feet, and the original one can also go up to a maximum of 150 feet. So Pros have that advantage. If you need more than 150 feet, then the Pro is your only option anyway. And you can, if you want more than 200 feet, that's when you want to have multiple sets and sync them together. But anyway, that is the ultimate reason why I got the Govee Permanent Outdoor Lights Pro. These are without questions the best one and the only one you should get, even if you are limited by budget, because they are worth it to get and install, because you're going to install it once and leave them on forever, and installation is not cheap. It costs money. So if you want to make the best of your investment, go for the Pros. Oh, one last tip about the Pros. Because they're fully spliceable and supported by Govee, if you ever have any problems with the Govee lights, like maybe one stops working, you can literally splice it and connect a new bulb without taking them down. Again, saving you a lot of headaches, time, and money with installation. So, long story short, if you have any questions, do let me know. But the Govee Permanent Outdoor Lights Pro is the one I'm going to install. I'm going to get them installed by a local installer, Silicon Valley Lights. They are expert in installing Govee lights. I'll leave link to them in the description. I'm going to get the Govee PermTrack, which are the Raceway designed by Jrowe, and they are perfect for these lights, and those are going to make the installation look super clean. So Silicon Valley Lights is going to install them with the PermTracks, and they're going to be amazing. I can't wait. My journey of Govee Permanent Outdoor Lights is about to complete, and I'll finally have these lights up for the holidays and for many years in the future. But it took me about 2 years to finally come to this conclusion, and hopefully my experience has saved you lots of time and headache deciding between the original Govee Permanent Outdoor Lights or the version 2 or the Pros. Go for the Pro, and don't save money by buying the cheaper one, because installation costs money and you're going to want the Pros. There we go. The Govee Permanent Light Pro is the one to get. Oh yeah!